So you're interested in aquaponics? I've got 5 of the biggest key questions that people ask when they're wanting to know more about aquaponics. So first and foremost, what is aquaponics? I mean, that's a big thing. The difference between aquaponics and hydroponics, because there is actually a difference. So we're going to jump in and have a little bit of a look at that. Let's see, can we do aquaponics at home? Can you do aquaponics when you're renting? Can you do it indoors? Yes, you can, but let's go and have a bit of a gander and see what we've got down there. Is it complex? Because let's be honest, people complicate the hell out of it. So let's actually talk about that and address that now. And best of all, how do you start? Let's get in and have a look, eh? What is aquaponics? It's actually one of the most sustainable ways of gardening that we can do now that grows food faster and uses less water. So jump on in, let's have a look and talk about what is aquaponics and let you get a really good understanding of how you can have it anywhere. Rightio, so I just said aquaponics is a great way of gardening. It's one of the most sustainable ways of gardening, and I know that sounds like a huge claim, but it is. What it is, and we can do this in any environment, in any climate, in any space. This is a small system, but you can have so much smaller inside, and you can have so much bigger outside or in greenhouses or in glass houses or in hot houses. There are so many options, and that's what makes it perfect in any area. Seriously, any area. Freezing cold, really hot, you can work around this. And you can do it inside or outside. And it's really sustainable in the sense of we're recycling the water. So once we fill it up, we're constantly using the water. And the best part about it is we've made it into a form of an ecosystem. So we're taking nature, we're replicating nature, and we're putting it into an ecosystem, so into a man-made design, and we're using fish that are constantly producing a type of fertilizer that our plants can use. And with the system, we have a filtration system to make sure that fertilizer that the fish are producing is able to be absorbed by the veggies. So that's what happens in our filter part. And what happens is the veggies will then filter the water for the fish. So it's a beautiful balance of everything that happens. The fish provide the fertilizer for the veggies, and the veggies filter the water for the fish. And it happens in a small little contained system where we're replicating nature, which is we're taking what happens in nature and putting it into a small space. Now, this is just a little, a small little barrel system, but as I said, it's the same principle if you want to do it inside. And I've got a small little aquarium that I'm growing some herbs in, one herb in. I can do that inside. Simple. I also have a larger system, which is not as large as others, but that's the thing. You can build it to be as large or as small as you need it to be. The fish provide the fertilizer for the veggies filter the water for the fish, and in that we have what's called nitrifying bacteria that makes this happen, and that's why I say it's an ecosystem. We're using less water than our soil garden because the water is constantly cycling around, and our fish are producing constant fertilizer, so that means that the veggies are getting constant fertilizer, so they grow faster than in a soil garden. Now, I'm not a snob, I love soil gardens, okay? But look at where we're heading in this world. Soil is getting more and more degraded, eroded. In some areas where there's droughts, we're starting to have serious issues with our soil. Having a man-made system set up like this is a way of being able to secure your food security. Okay, it's one of the best ways forward. It is incredibly sustainable. And I can't use any form of chemicals on my aquaponics system because that'll kill my fish. So I know that everything that I eat is healthy. Depending on the size of your system and your aquaponics system will depend on what you can grow. So what I can grow inside over my aquariums is generally some type of herb or green lettuce, spinach, something like that. And something like this, a little bit bigger, I could get away with some capsicums and a tomato plant, something like that. So a bit more of the fruiting kind of vegetable. And if you go into a larger system like what I just showed you, your imagination is your limitation. How excellent and awesome is that? That is the concept of aquaponics. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'm putting videos up every couple of days, so make sure that you hit subscribe so you can get all of them. There's a lot of confusion between aquaponics and hydroponics. And when people, because I'm someone who does aquaponics, so that involves fish. And when other people come and say, oh, I'm very interested in your hydroponics, I go, no. And that's that's my autism aspect coming out. But because aquaponics and hydroponics are different, before we have a look at that, I just want to identify that aqua and hydro, so aqua and hydro, both mean water. So both mean some form of water gardening. But how we then develop the hydroponics and the aquaponics is two totally different systems. So yes, when someone says, I want to look at your hydroponic system, Candy, it's like, yes, you are right, but it's really more aquaponics because it has fishies. So let's actually have a bit of a chat as to what the difference is. Yeah, get a good look at it, hey? Saying that aquaponics is a living ecosystem. Okay? It's a living ecosystem in a man-made design. So we have it in a nice little enclosed area, but aquaponics is actually a living ecosystem. We have fish, and they provide nutrients for the veggies. We have nitrifying bacteria that convert that fertilizer to make sure that it's being absorbed by the veggies, and the veggies then filter the water for the fish. Ecosystem, everything is working together. It is a beautiful, harmonious relationship, which is awesome. But the water is cycling through the system constantly. Bonus, we're not using lots and lots of water. We don't need to do water exchanges, even better. It's just, it runs itself. We top it up and we manage an ecosystem. Hydroponics, on the other hand, is an artificial growing method. Okay, there's no fish. You might want fish as pets, or you might not want them. You might want to eat the fish, you might not. That's a question, you know, one of the benefits of aquaponics, pets or food, or, you know, hydroponics is just completely irrelevant. Hydroponics, you need synthetic nutrients, so that it's not natural. Fish is not natural waste, natural fertilizer. It is completely synthetic, and it's in an artificial environment. And artificial environment does keep a lot of the pests at bay. There is a bonus there, but you have to balance all of the nutrients that you put in, and they are synthetic nutrients that you put in. They are high in salt, and you need to remove that, and that is then waste that needs to be disposed of appropriately. Please don't just throw it down the sink or down into the water sources. That's just a really bad option. It really affects our natural ecosystem for the rest of the world. But that's the thing. Hydroponics is not sustainable in that way. So hydroponics or aquaponics, there is a difference. Personally, as I'm a very sustainable person, I love my aquaponics system. I prefer an ecosystem rather than a synthetic artificial system. Check out the description to find some more information about aquaponics and how you can move forward and get this happening. I love aquaponics for so many reasons. I'm such an advocate for it, especially when I grew up, you know, in flats and that you couldn't grow any food. And when I was an adult, I was renting, and we weren't allowed to have veggie gardens anywhere because it ruined the landlord's yard, even though I was paying rent there. My first system, I was renting, and I built an aquaponics system in a small little 2x2 meter area. I've been building aquaponics systems ever since 2006, and in small spaces, they work perfectly. This area here is a 3x3 meter area. I could have made this so much bigger, but in a small 3x3 meter area, to show you that you can have lots of food within an aquaponics system in a small area. It was very deliberate. I'm someone who's been trained in aquaculture. I could easily do a much bigger system, but right now I'm wanting to focus on small systems to help people get started and know that anyone can have an aquaponics system anywhere. When you're renting, if you've only got a courtyard, if you've only got your indoor area, so you're wanting to have an aquaponics system inside, spare room, garage, lounge room even, why not? You know, looks awesome, growing food, why not? Does not have to be a commercial venture, okay? Why not have food security for yourself and for your family in your own backyard, courtyard, or whatever space you have? There's plenty of options, plenty of ways of doing it. There's not just one design. Many can cater aquaponics to how you need it to be. Can aquaponics work for the home? Absolutely. Living proof. Living proof of another one, eh? Another small little system there. And I've even got two inside. Ready So, it's Aquaponics Complex. This is a small little system. It's approximately 1/2 metre wide, 1.2 metres high, depending on how high my veggies are growing at the time, and a little over 1 metre in length. This took me 2 hours to build while I was recording, so probably wouldn't take other people that long. Here's the thing. We have our fish tank down the bottom. We have some goldfish in there. I have a small aquarium-based pump that pumps the water into my mechanical filter that I've just realised you can't see. This white part here that's being hidden. That's my mechanical filtration, so just up here. That catches all of the solid waste, which means that it reduces the amount of work that I might have to do later, because it means I don't have to clean out my grow bed. My grow bed is my biological filtration, so converting all of that fish waste, so all of the ammonia from the fish. Remember, fish produce ammonia from their gills and their urine. That is what we're after, not the actual solid waste. The solid waste goes great in your worm farm, and use some of that worm juice to supplement the micronutrients within your aquaponics system. The water filters from the grow beds back into the fish tank. Now this particular system I set up so I've got a flood and drain section and a constant flow. So constant flow means the water is constantly at this level. So it's always, this section is always full, right? The other grow bed has a bell siphon in it, and we call that a flood and drain flow. So that means the water floods up, drains out, floods up, drains. But seriously, this is simple to look after. Having the goldfish in the bottom, I feed them every day. I check on them every day, which is really good. You know, we kind of need to do that, living fish and all that. And every week I check the water quality. Yeah, I know, I'm very anal about that. I check all of my aquariums and aquaponic systems every week. Very obsessive in that way. And the mechanical filter for the goldfish, every week is when I clean that one out. Maybe I could do that a bit more often, but it doesn't seem to need it. But I do know that, you know, everything is growing super duper well in here. This takes me less than 5 minutes to look after every day. This is a simple little system. Growth. Being able to have a little bit of food security, a great way to start is a small little system. Now you're in luck. I have a YouTube video up there on how to build a small aquaponic system. If you're wanting to think about doing this inside, I also have how to convert your aquarium into an aquaponic system video up on YouTube. Check out the channel, please. In the how-to sections, I believe, in the playlists there. Playlists. This is a really simple system to start with to get yourself used to how to do aquaponics. Now, once you get used to how this all works, then expand. Okay? If you jump straight into a bigger system and you've never looked after fish, that's going to feel so complicated, that's going to feel so overwhelming. That's like jumping into a sports car when you're learning how to drive. It's fun. But if I tried that when I was 16 and got my learners, oh my God, I would be horrified. I'd be terrified. I'd be too overwhelmed. And that's the thing about aquaponics. It's a learned skill, just like everything else. But if you start big, it's going to feel a bit overwhelming for you. But if you start small and get used to it, you've got this. So that's my recommendation. Start small, and aquaponics is as simple as, once you've got this and you understand the flow and how it works, go bigger. You know, it's so easy for us to look at someone's aquaponic system and go, that's it, I'm doing it. And we start researching, and there is so much information out. But the biggest thing that I'm going to say, and this is someone who has studied 4 years worth of aquaculture, worked in the industry, major aquariums, done all of that sort of stuff, been within aquaponics for over 14 years, the best advice that I will give you is to say start small. A little barrel aquaponics system like this is one of the best ways of having a small investment, but building a small little aquaponics system, just like a barrel system, and there are various different designs, and if you want to know how I do this, it is in my channel on the how to build a barrel aquaponics system. It's one of the best ways of starting because you're replicating a bigger system. So if you're wanting to start off, say, with an aquarium inside, generally our indoor aquariums are based on what's pretty. So we've got wood and we've got gravel and we've got rocks and we've got the filter, and then we're adding the aquaponics part on top, which means we don't do water exchanges, which is awesome. But there's less fish in our aquariums inside. Whereas in an aquaponics system, the whole point is we're replicating nature and we are controlling and looking after and managing nature while we're at it. So we have more fish growing in our fish tank and we grow more vegetables. We're actually building a garden, an aquaponics garden, which is amazing. It's incredible how nature works, isn't it? But if you start off with an actual barrel aquaponics system rather than an indoor aquarium, and please, if you know nothing about it and you want to start that way, I have videos showing you how to do that too. And I have several inside. It's not a waste of time, it's just a little bit different, so it depends on your intention. If you're wanting to be self-sufficient as possible with aquaponics, so you're wanting to go to a larger system, I keep pointing that direction because my bigger system's that way. So if you're wanting a larger aquaponics system where you are growing your food, your fish to eat, so fish food, fish, either way, if you're wanting to do that and you're wanting to grow lots of veggies, then start off with a small little barrel system that you can build for under a few $100s. It'll take you a few hours to build. Very, very easy. You need a jigsaw, you need a hacksaw to be able to cut the piping, you need a drill with a hole saw on it, and you need the piping that goes with it and a pump. It's very, very simple, no big scary tools or equipment, and you can easily build this. Once you've built it, do not just go and add the fish in. You do need to learn how to colonize your ecosystem with the appropriate bacteria, which bacteria is all around us. This is nitrifying bacteria, which will naturally come into your system. Again, how to cycle your aquaponics system. There's a video there that will show you how to do that and what it means. But it's colonizing our aquaponics system, which means that any of the ammonia that the fish produce is then converted into fertilizer for our veggies, and our veggies are then able to filter the water for the fish. In ecosystem, we need to colonize that bacteria before we add the fish. The perfect little system to start with. Build it, get your confidence going, understand how it works, understand your water quality, how that works, understand how to look after fish, understand how to base on, how many plants can I be growing based on the amount of fish waste that I've got, which is all about your nitrate. Again, water quality. And there are videos on that on my channel on how to work out your water quality. Once you've got that going and you've been successful for a few months, expand on your barrel system. Or then if you want to go bigger, go bigger. But at least you know, hey, I've been really successful at having this work. Let's move on to my next step. If you invest thousands of dollars in a larger aquaponics system and you don't know how it works and you've invested money buying food fish, so fish that you can eat, or even just you've bought everything new, or you've got the wrong plumbing, or you've not quite got the right equipment, you could have wasted thousands of dollars. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't like the thought of losing and wasting thousands of dollars. By building a small little system, you can understand the piping, the fittings, how it all works together, the importance of not having elbow bends, especially for a larger system. You can understand how important flow is within your aquaponics system. So when you're building a bigger system, you can understand the importance of being able to get the equipment that you're wanting, to be able to make sure you've got the right fittings and things like that. It helps you to understand what you need to be able to move forward. Isn't that amazing? You can start small and go bigger. And in doing a small little system like this, you could be growing all of the herbs that you're wanting, having them here, giving you more room for a bigger system elsewhere. A great little project for the kids to be able to look after. How amazing! They have fish that are pets, and they can learn how an ecosystem works and how to grow food in a small little system. This is approximately 1.2 meters high, half a meter wide, and a little over a meter long. So a little courtyard area can easily do this to be able to have some food security, to be able to get your confidence happening on how to build an aquaponics system and where to start, so that then you're much more comfortable and confident to build your bigger system. How awesome is that? What a great way to start a little barrel aquaponics system. Go and check out